Hello everybody and welcome to the 2018 Brazilian Grand Prix race review. And today it won't only be me commenting on the action that unfolded around the Interlagos circuit, but also we got Felix, we got Mads, and we got Wicker Goomba. Hello everybody.
Hello. Hello.
Hello indeed. Wow, that was an interesting race there. So Hamilton, of course, let's talk about the start of the race where it all began. Clouds, or dark clouds, looming above the skies there, but no rain actually fell, or if it did, it was just spots or something, nothing too major there. But yeah, Hamilton getting off to a good start. And then the Ferraris dropping back, Verstappen having an awesome start, overtaking a load of cars. So, what is that noise? Anyway, so yeah, Verstappen having a great first part of the race, overtaking a lot of cars. So yeah, what did you guys think of those first couple of laps? Because the field were very close, and Hamilton wasn't getting away as we might have thought he would.
Yeah, the first few laps were quite interesting. I think, well, do you mean Ricciardo? He started from 11th, he overtook a few cars as well. Or, I'm not...
Yeah, yeah, Ricciardo, he was already up into P6, I think in the first 5 or 6 laps or whatever, making some great moves. And of course, oh, we could go into that. Oh, well, anyway, we got two other guys here anyway to comment about the race. So yeah, yeah, Ricciardo obviously getting up, easy overtake really on Ericsson, because Ericsson, his car was falling to pieces. I mean, bits of bodywork all over the road, and that was all. Yeah, and was it Magnussen who had a bit
I think it was Grosjean at the first corner, and he pushed Max and White later on
yeah.
first lap. He contact with Grosjean.
Yeah, and then he Ericsson spun all on his own, unfortunately, but I think that was due to damage. But that's such a shame, because Ericsson, he had his best qualifying of his career in P6, and then it all goes wrong in the race. So that is unfortunate. But anyway, back to the battle for first. Hamilton really struggling, of course, with the super softs as they neared the end of that tyre's life. You could see blistering on his tyres as well. So Verstappen was closing him in. Yeah, and the Red Bull driver obviously making some great overtakes. The Ferraris really struggling in those first 5 or 6 laps on the softs, but eventually they managed to get things going again. But Bottas did an excellent job in holding everyone up, really, apart from Verstappen backing those Ferraris, of course, so that cost them a lot of time. And, well, do you think it was right for Ferrari to start the race on the softs, or do you think maybe they could have potentially even, won the race if they started on the supers, or...?
I think it was better to start on supers, because they had now they only had the option to go to mediums, and yeah, the tires were already gone, so they couldn't really go to supers. So it would have been a better strategy to go into the supers, as Verstappen proved, of course. But I don't know if they could have won, because Vettel was really slow. So maybe Raikkonen, but I don't know. The Red Bull was just very strong today. Mercedes too, so I don't know.
Yeah, that was I mean, I found that interesting how Vettel was only 93 or so thousandths off Hamilton's pole time, and then yet in the race he was struggling, and then obviously you've got to maybe factor in that tyre difference there. I mean, considering Ferrari were what 53 or so points behind, and they needed to to win the race, and beat Mercedes, I think doing something different was something that they had to do. They had to go aggressive, and of course they wouldn't have been in that position had they, you know, been much closer to Mercedes and or maybe even ahead. I mean, you think back to all the mistakes that they've made in the past couple of races, so you know that's unfortunate. We're not going to get a championship decider in Abu Dhabi, which is really unfortunate. But anyway, the race still provided a lot of action, even halfway through and beyond, where you expect things to die down a little, because Verstappen was on a charge. So Verstappen, Hamilton pitted, I think, at the end of lap 19, which I thought was a bit risky because those mediums would have been, you know, pretty much dead at the end by lap 71. So he was going to be vulnerable at the end.
Yeah, Verstappen was still faster in his supersofts, so.
It's weird how Red Bull are so fast in the race compared to qualifying every time.
Yeah, yeah.
Always at the pace in the race.
Yeah, and that's where you need it most. But
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah. It's just because of party mode in qualifying. Just because of that. But hopefully they can do it better in with Honda next year. Qualifying.
yeah.
That would be great.
I mean, yeah, Toro Rosso. You know, obviously they have the Honda engine. You can definitely see the amount of speed and improvements that engine's getting. So it's I think it's definitely going to be an upgrade for Red Bull, and whether it will, you know, give the boost down the straights in qualifying, so they're able to do a lot better as well in the races. You know, hopefully that's the case. I mean, going into next year, we're hoping that we got, you know, 3 teams or maybe even more. Maybe Renault could be a surprise, but I kind of, you know, doubt that considering how slow they've been this year. But yeah, we're hoping for a 3-way fight. I think even, you know, whoever you support, you know, we'd all like the championship to always go down to the last race. That's what makes the sport so interesting. But anyway, so Verstappen closing on Hamilton. He then gets past Hamilton down the straights with DRS, and you know, Verstappen was a lot quicker at that stage of the race. And then comes lap 44. And well, that crash, that incident with Ocon cost Verstappen the race. There's no doubt about that. Was Ocon wrong in trying to get the lead or get in front of Verstappen when clearly that Force India is a slower car, and Verstappen was obviously going to pass him and go off into the distance by, you know, 3 seconds, you know, over the next lap or so? Was there any point in Ocon doing that?
Absolutely not. It was totally Ocon's mistake. And I know the rule said you can, what is it called, when you get overtaken by a lap, you have the right to take that lap back if you're faster than the car ahead when you just pitted, but that was just so stupid from Ocon. And it's not, I think it's the last driver I expected to see do something like that. So yeah, Ocon's mistake, 100%. He shouldn't, he has nothing to gain by overtaking Verstappen. It was just bad judgment.
So there's really 2 sides on this story. So the Ocon people, you're just allowed to unlock yourself, but in this way, I don't know, it's not really. No, I don't think it's good.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Hamilton overtake Vettel in the 2012 German Grand Prix. So yeah, unlapping is allowed, but doing it there, I mean, turn 2, that is a ridiculous place to overtake, you know.
And he has the Mercedes engine, he should just do it on the straight.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when
Well, then again,
what was I gonna say? I don't know.
yeah, if you think about it though, I mean, that Force India car is so much slower than the Red Bulls on overall pace. Verstappen was gonna pull away from Ocon, even if Ocon got past, Verstappen was gonna get him, you know, get back past again. There's no way Ocon would have gone off. Otherwise, Ocon would be passing loads of people and finding himself in podium positions and, you know, race wins. That Force India car isn't fast enough to get past, you know, that Red Bull or the Mercedes or the Ferraris or whatever, and you know, maintain that position. He's just going to get blue flags, and he has to let Verstappen through again. So
Yeah,
If he
does
did this
make
on,
sense.
if he did this on like Leclerc or Grosjean or something, then it would be okay. Okay, but to do this on the race leader, no, that's not okay.
yeah, and I've seen arguments that Verstappen should have, you know, left him some room or whatever, but Verstappen wouldn't have expected Ocon to try and overtake him when Ocon's been
Nobody would
just showed
expect
to
that.
flag.
He was the race leader. It's just such a weird incident. It really is. I have never seen something like that.
And he's
Yeah.
very lucky to not have more damage than just a little bit before. Could have been out of the race.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you know, wheel-to-wheel contact, who knows what could have happened. Verstappen could have been in the barriers and that could have been it. So, he's lucky to finish in second place in the end, I guess.
I have an interesting question for you guys.
Ooh. Okay.
Do you think the penalty for the con was okay, or should it be a race ban or something else? But because he first of all he took after race leader. That was Verstappen's race to win. So I think he got a 10-second stop and go penalty. Is that fair and harsh enough, or what do you think?
I think, yeah, I mean, just analysing incidents before and what they've given other drivers, I think 10-second stop and go is right, because it is, you know, it's not a drive-through, it's not 10 seconds added, you know, after the race, and I guess, although you could say, yeah, it affected the outcome of the race, you know, for the lead, I guess the stewards can only investigate incidents regardless of what position, you know, they're fighting for. So they would have done the same thing if it was a battle for 15th, you know. But
What if it was Grosjean in Ocon's position? I think he's only one penalty point away from a race ban. Grosjean.
yeah. So I mean, it's lucky Grosjean didn't do anything. Yeah. But that incident obviously had a huge outcome on the race results, and well, so after Verstappen recovered himself, he was 5 seconds down on Hamilton, and then of course he was charging at Hamilton trying to win the race, but unfortunately, of course, when you're behind Hamilton, you know Hamilton isn't gonna slow down at all, and he kept pushing. Hamilton did, you know, as much as Verstappen, and at the end, really, Verstappen managed to close in, and the gap was 1.4 seconds, I believe, as they crossed the line. So, yeah, that was that basically for the battle for first. But behind we had Raikkonen under pressure from Ricciardo. So close Ricciardo was to getting a podium, but he's gonna have to wait a little bit longer, or maybe a lot longer, if he doesn't get it in Abu Dhabi. He's only got one more race now. A good job by Ricciardo there to get P4, and yeah, obviously Bottas as well falling back. Bottas was nowhere in this race. I was really surprised, really. Or maybe not, because Bottas, for some reason, he has lacked a lot of pace in these past couple of races. I mean, what do you guys think about Bottas? What's happened to him? Why is he so inconsistent now all of a sudden?
I don't know. 'Cause yeah, go on.
Yeah, okay. I just think that Bottas is already focused on next season. He isn't gonna win anything this year, and yeah, Hamilton has just been much better and consistent than Bottas. Although with Bottas' help, but still Hamilton is the clear number one driver at that team. So
But you would think that now when Hamilton got his championship, Bottas had less of a could fight more.
yeah, I thought so. I think it's the first time Hamilton has won a race after he has secured the title. Isn't it the first time after the title is secured he has won a race?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. So, yeah, Bottas should have been quicker today. But yeah, Hamilton is just in his peak performance right now. I would like to see Ricciardo or Verstappen go up against Hamilton in that car if they could match him. I doubt it. but maybe.
Yeah, I guess we can only hope that Red Bull and Renault can, you know, improve their package and yeah, well, fingers crossed for next season, I guess. Yeah, I think that was a great race overall. Unfortunate with, you know, Verstappen, of course, having that incident, so that kind of ruined that battle for first anyway. But I think Verstappen anyway, he would have won it, you know, by a long margin. The way he was, you know, closing in on Hamilton at the end. So a bit unfortunate. Oh, and we also have an unexpected
rival.
Yeah, so we're just talking about the race. I guess you didn't see or hear.
I
maybe...
seen some crucial events.
Right. Okay.
I knew, as I said yesterday, he would get the curse.
I've got to have a look actually, and of what you said yesterday. But I believe someone said Verstappen would win, so they came so close to actually achieving their prediction.
Yeah, I said if it was raining, Verstappen would win, but if it wasn't, he would get the curse.
And that curse came in Esteban Ocon. Have you seen the crash?
Yeah,
Have you seen the aftermath?
And because it's like Nelson Piquet and whoever else that was, a Hockenheim in 1981.
Salazar, yeah. I think it was. I think it's Salazar.
Once it's like a ladies' fight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I'm just thinking back to yesterday, and you know, CSR Kimi
I just found
Alienware.
news that it was actually Esteban Salazar, whatever the hell it was. I just. Yeah. Yes. Salazar and Piquet. That's it. Can't get that through.
Yeah, but yeah, like I was saying, so you know, like how at Alienware, you know, how he took me out of Britain, you know. I'm just thinking, you know, if you know all the FRL drivers had to, you know, do that thing where you have to put your helmet on and you know go to the weighing scales, you know, he'd be on the ground. I'd be, you know, I'd have to, you know, I might be having my points deducted or whatever for what I do to him. But yeah, crazy stuff anyway. I totally understand why Verstappen would do something like that, because much like if you think back to Schumacher as well, when he tried to have a go at Coulthard in '98 in that Belgian race. Yeah, but wow, a lot of drama.
Yeah, who do you think is the most unluckiest driver at Interlagos?
Probably Barrichello, like if we're talking history. I guess.
How many times has he been in the lead and retired?
I think it's over 10 or something. It's something ridiculous.
Yeah.
But,
I think it's always because of the power unit, but that's not been done in the past, and the best way matters.
Which is today. So Ocon. Well, have you seen the actual crash? Because that's the.
Yeah. Verstappen was going to go for. I think Verstappen did like a dive bomb, like Button did in Fathom 9. But Ocon held his place, unlike Fathom 9 drivers, and Verstappen's right rear hit Ocon's front left, spinning them around.
It was more like Ocon did a dive bomb.
Yeah, into turn 2, yeah. And I mean, why would you do that? I mean, Ocon, you know.
Does that remind you of anyone from the FRL in the most previous days? Someone who went for him that was possibly not?
Well, I'm only thinking back to, well, like F3 when Gamer Mika was being lapped and he took, you know, some people out.
No surprises there.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, you can, yeah, some drivers in the FRL, yeah. And blue flags as well, that can be an issue sometimes. So, I guess, yeah, I'm thinking Alienware all the time. That's the only him and Mika. Yeah, oh dear.
So then, the next track while we thinking, as I'm guessing that our episode will soon be wrapped.
Yeah, it will soon be wrapped, but we're just nearing the end of our Brazil talk first of all.
Yeah, I'm getting way too ahead of myself.
Yeah,
I
well,
apologise.
yeah, just looking at the positions behind those top six, of course, Vettel finishing sixth. Did a two-stop, and ultimately the softs not working out that strategy. But Leclerc P7, fantastic result for him. And actually, Leclerc, you could see that Sauber, you know, although 2 or 3 seconds behind, like the Red Bulls and the Ferraris early on. So that was great to see that, you know, Leclerc was still doing some good
You gotta
times.
consider the Saubers have got so much development since like the midway point. It's incredible.
Yeah, and unlucky for Ericsson as well that his car fell apart, and ultimately he retired. But just looking down the Hasses, Grosjean 8th, Magnussen 9th, Perez 10th. So I'm not too sure. That will actually, yeah, that will close Haas up in the constructor, so they might have a go at Renault. But I think if the top six are the top six, Mercedes, Ferrari, and Red Bull, I don't think Haas will have a chance. But what do you guys think? Do you think Renault will wrap up that P4 going into Abu Dhabi?
I think so. I don't know
Yeah.
how many points they're behind, but it's too many.
Yeah, they retired
Yeah.
Hulkenberg because they didn't want to take penalties into the next to Abu Dhabi. So
Yeah.
it was a clever move from them.
Hulkenberg is secure for 7th and Renault is secured for 4th in the constructors.
Unless we get a crazy Abu Dhabi race, I don't see
Yeah, of course.
any of those
I doubt that.
changing.
Could see Bottas getting
Yeah.
another win.
Yeah, he did win there last year, but I don't know, his motivation hasn't been great.
Hamilton said he didn't want to let Bottas win. Like, he didn't want to give him the win like Bottas has done in Russia.
Yeah, I found that a little bit weird because if Mercedes are like 1-2 and they're, you know, far ahead, which hasn't been the case, you know, since Russia really, or since Japan, then you think with everything wrapped up they'd, you know, Hamilton, like I think Schumacher did back in 2002 in USA after what happened in Austria, of course, that season.
Oh yeah.
So, and that's strange. You know, I thought maybe we'll see something like that in Abu Dhabi, but with the
I think
pressure
they
of Red
should do
Bull,
it.
yeah. But then again, looking at the the pace that Red Bull had today, and Ferrari as well, you know, you've got to say that's going to be risky for Hamilton to let off the gas to let Bottas, who hasn't been great since since
They have
Russia.
to be 1-2 for sure if they are gonna do that.
Yeah, definitely, and that's going to be hard. But Mercedes have won that race since 2014. No other, you know, manufacturer have.
Oh no.
Ball by
My
Junior.
what timing could it be?
Yeah, that was a bit ridiculous, but yeah. So, oh, what was I saying? Oh no.
Meanwhile, anything else we should talk about? Crucial points? Maybe Marcus Ericsson. As he did get P6 in qualifying.
He just isn't on the pace of Leclerc.
Yeah.
He has had his chance in F1, I think. It's time to get the place to someone else.
Maybe he'll do better in IndyCar next season.
Yeah, what team is he going to drive for?
I think it's one of the Andretti and Autosport or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Alright, I'm back.
But I think he's running the 46 number.
Yeah. Maybe we should start watching some IndyCar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
the ovals are really good. You get way more overtakes than you normally think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'm definitely watching the Indy 500 because I did in 2017, and because Alonso is going to be racing. I definitely want to see if he can pull that off. That would be amazing.
I hope Ericsson will do good as well.
Of course.
Yeah, anyway, let's go through the other positions. I mean, obviously, there was so much of a fight up front that I hardly, even thought about what was going on behind, but so we had Hartley 11th, Sainz Jr. in 12th, Gasly 13th, Van Dorn 14th, Ocon 15th, Alonso 16th, Sirotkin 17th, and Stroll in 18th. Those are the results, and then Ericsson and Hulkenberg are not classified there. And if you can hear money in the background, that's probably Mercedes counting how much prize money they're getting this season.
But nothing can topple Ferrari in their automatic 50 million for just being in the sport.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, that bonus they get. Oh, and still they're not able to win the championship since 2008. That's unfortunate for them. Oh dear.
I think they need a new head.
Well, I guess we're gonna look back at that famous race in Germany and think, well, if Vettel didn't crash out and Hamilton were to finish in the position he was in at the time, which I think was 5th, then we'd be talking about potentially an Abu Dhabi showdown, but that's not going to happen. That has been the Brazilian Grand Prix race review. I better stop this discussion, otherwise it's going to take ages to upload like it did yesterday. Thank you everyone for watching the qualifying race review. Somehow it got over 100 views, so I appreciate that. We'll see how much this one gets, but yeah, there was a lot of noise there in the background, and this is a perfect time to end. So yeah, thank you for watching everyone. Thanks to Felix, Mads, and
The very late arrival.
yeah, and Wikiguma as well, who joined briefly, but then he went off somewhere. I haven't noticed. So yeah, hopefully we can make this. Oh my gosh.
Oh, we keep going.
No, that's just Verstappen. He's here with me now.
Better stop the stream now.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
We're giving his suck pops.
Yeah, Ocon, yeah, just hide in the cupboard, yeah, that's it. Hides, yeah. There we go, right, Ocon's safe, everyone, don't worry. But yeah, that has been it, so we'll probably discuss about Abu Dhabi in a bit.
In a bit, I think he means next week.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks, is it right? Or is it already next week?
So we got a 2-week break.
I
I think Abu Dhabi is in 2 weeks' time, so we'll probably do another video, just discussing a preview of that race, perhaps, or if we get any interesting news stories between then, and we'll have different guests. Again, I do apologise. This has been such a great episode until like the last couple of minutes. Maybe I don't know. Right. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So yeah, if there's any stories or whatever between then, we'll probably do something again. We'll try and have different guests as well. As Verstappen is still angry. Let's hope he wins in Abu Dhabi.
Still down until Abu Dhabi, I think.
Yeah, and who knows, with those long straights, that's going to be a bit of an issue. But anyway, that has been the Brazilian Grand Prix. Actually, let's still go through and say who's your driver of the day and what you'd give that race out of 10. So I'll go first. So I'm going to say, for my driver of the day, first of all, can't really see anyone else except Verstappen really for that. I mean, Leclerc had a great race, but that Sauber is strong.
We didn't really see him.
Yeah, that's the problem really. He's just best of the rest today. But Verstappen, apart from that collision, which wasn't really his fault, I've got to give Verstappen driver of the day. And for my racing, I'll say, I don't no, maybe like 7.5 or 8 out of 10 for me, because you know there was a battle for first. It wasn't a boring race. We had so much action. A shame that the crash happened, but that, you know, added to the fire and how great that race was. So yeah, over to you guys, and what do you think?
Kevin
So
Mac-
who wants to start?
Verstappen, no doubt.
My go. Okay. Driver of the day, Esteban Ocon for his great overtaking moves. And I give the race 9.5 out of 10 because Brazil always brings a very good atmosphere and very good racing.
Yeah, for driver of the day, I'm gonna go Max Verstappen as well. And rating out of 10, I think an 8 or 7.5. Pretty good race.
Yeah, definitely a good race. Not a boring race at all, by anyone's standards there. Although I guess Verstappen wanted it to be a little bit, you know, boring after when he got past
I
Hamilton,
mean,
but that wasn't the case.
at least we'll never have boring races like USA 2004.
8 cars starting or something like that.
Oh, that was 2005. I was thinking 2004.
Oh.
What happened there? Yeah, it's 2005. Well, yeah, it's 2005. I think.
Oh, yeah.
Oh well. Anyway, we definitely know there's one more race, and it is Abu Dhabi. So until then, thank you for watching. Thanks everyone for commenting on the race. That was yeah, pretty last minute getting everyone together, but it worked out well in the end. And yeah, we're gonna improve the show hopefully and learn from this weekend. And yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks everyone for yeah, listening right to the very end. And yeah, you can subscribe if you want. I think I'm 5 away from 700, so that's going to be a big milestone, big landmark. And yes, thank you for watching, and until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Give me your thoughts. How did they accomplish this result?
Well, they played the safety car to absolute perfection.